of the corner of 11 and Woodward.
Well, really, Ed is a member of the dream team here at Michigan Real Talk to help people with their American dream. And so much of our American dream is obviously tied up in finances and therefore legal issues that could that we want to avoid sometimes. And that means whether you're setting up your business in the first place, consulting with the right attorneys, whether you're in business now or your personal affairs, it really pays, right? It's sort of proactive versus reactive. Get in touch with the right people. For instance, if you're able to get a legal audit, you're very likely to save on litigation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why? What are you going to be able to tell folks that are going to keep them out of litigation, you think?
Well, by doing things right, you might prevent whistleblower actions that would disgruntled employees,
right,
or not necessarily disgruntled employees, people who feel they have a reason to turn you over to the regulatory authorities for having done something wrong.
And sometimes it's not even really out of malice that you're doing something wrong. It's not, some evil attempt on your part, but you may be ignorant to the law, right? I mean, this is why you need an expert, because you may not know what you don't know, right?
Exactly. And, the regulatory environment that businesses work in is the discussion subject of between attorneys and clients, and between the clients themselves and other business people. It's pretty onerous at times. Little small businesses have all sorts of regulations they have to comply with, and they don't necessarily know that.
Right.
And but as far as the whistleblower actions, very often you'll get your HR department type complaints. You've violated various rules and things of that nature. I do have an example of a really good thing that is relative to real estate.
Yeah.
Yesterday, a woman came in and she had been a Chapter 7 client for us in bankruptcy.
Okay.
And she is being sued for the condo fees for a condo that they had. It turns out that the title company that did the closing of their purchase never recorded the deed for them. So they're not the title holder of that condo, and they are not subject to this lawsuit, although they're potentially being sued, and we're trying to head that off at the pass.
Yeah.
But, let's say we had done a legal audit on them, back years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the things would have been looking at the title work on their property and saying, oh, yeah, you actually have title. The only thing that was recorded in this chain of title on this one, when we looked it up, was that somebody had filed an affidavit of lost deed, which is a notice, but it doesn't change ownership.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a lis pendens, which is a legal notice saying that the property is involved with litigation. So this issue with the title ended up forcing these people actually into the bankruptcy in the first place, because they had arranged a short sale, but they couldn't close because they didn't have the title to effect the short sale. Hence, the only way of getting rid of this bit of a horror story that they had was to file a bankruptcy and surrender the property and the debt and everything else in a Chapter 7.
And then after that, there's still potential litigation because it wasn't taken care of the right way in the first place.
Yes, and the courts have held that if you have a condo interest and you're still living there, then you're responsible for the condo fees. Now, it turns out the other part of the story is they're not living there. They surrendered the property. They moved out years ago, but now the condo association is suing them. The condo association is wrong. They don't have a right to sue these people. They're not title holders of the property.
But doesn't the title company have responsibility there? I mean...
Well, that's a liability responsibility issue. Yeah. And that's a lawsuit.
That's another show. That's another
what
show
the legal
right there.
audit would prevent.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the point.
A lot of stress and aggravation is what.
Well, that's the point.
Right.
I mean, just even sitting here listening to Ed, and I'm a real estate broker. I actually pay attention to these sorts of conversations.
Right.
But it turned into about 7 different things that were in play.
Yeah.
This is why attorneys are worth their, money here, because they understand what, if you got a good one, and Ed Gudeman and
the
Gudeman
good
Associates.
one will keep you away from the bad ones.
Well, that's the point, is, do something proactive so you don't find yourself reacting to all these different things later, so that you may save some litigation. Also, you may save some taxes, right? If you get some